and gents. Please put your hands together as we welcome up to the front the father of the bride. Come on, ladies and gents.
That's who? 2-2. Hello. Evening all. Hey. All had a good time? Yeah. So far. Right, hang on. I haven't got enough hands. And I've got a mic on here. I don't know what that was for. But... It's alright, it's only an hour. Hey. Right, ladies and gents, it's not often a father of the bride gets to make 2 speeches, particularly when the bride's marrying the same bloke. But it's my great pleasure and privilege to welcome you all here tonight to the second celebration of the marriage of Seb and my beautiful daughter, Sam. That's it, it's going well now, that'll do it, thank you. Okay, I'm going to put this down, it'll be easier. For those who don't remember, the first wedding was in the middle of one of our lockdowns in October 2020. These guys were only allowed 15 guests, including each other. That said, we had a lovely time. I think we got stopped at 10, didn't we? That was another lockdown room, get out, finish, that's it, it's all over. But we had a lovely time, and really, this is the kind of bash that they wanted, and you've heard from the celebrant early. It's the kind of bash Sam wanted and put in a spreadsheet, and it's happened. So there you go, the joys of a spreadsheet. In my first speech 16 months ago, I said, and I quote, because it's the same speech, "This has not been a normal year. Therefore, it's not quite the wedding that Sam and Seb had originally planned for. Somehow, some way, they made it happen, despite the pandemic, despite the government, and despite the ever-changing restrictions." Well, this time round, still not been normal, has it? We've built up to today, the pressure was on, starting a couple of months ago when Boris wavered around with his worldly advice, extra jabs, booster jabs, threats of new restrictions, the reintroduction of face masks. If we'd have only known that behind closed doors he was having a bit of a party with his friends, he called it a business meeting. We could have had a business meeting in October 2020, invited 20,000 people, 100 people, had a little bit of a soiree in the garden, had a bit of fun, but we couldn't do that. In the last few weeks, we've managed to fly through the storm alphabet without even blinking, including 3 in a week last week, and we got to F for Franklin. Thankfully, no issues with the weather today. The sun came out, we've had a lovely day, and hopefully that goes on into the evening. Now, firstly, some of our friends and family are not able to be here tonight to celebrate with Sam and Seb, and all of us today. Some of them are no longer with us, and I think they'd all have been really proud of Sam and Seb, especially with that ceremony today. I thought that was fantastic. And they're much missed and much in our thoughts, so could you please raise a glass to any acting friends, please? I'm only on to page 2 of 6. On to today's business meeting. If you were one of the 15 that attended the first event, then good news, because you managed to make the cut again, so welcome. She did have a rigorous selection process, which probably involved spreadsheets as well, did it? Yeah, I thought it might. So, you're here today, so well done. For those... Am I doing something wrong with this? For those of you who are here for the first time, all I can say is you must have really stepped it up on social media or something in the last 18 months, because you've got here, you've got on the second guest list, so well done, give yourselves a round of applause. So it's great to see all of you, and thanks for coming with us. version 1, I did individual welcomes because that could last for hours tonight, so I won't do that, but we need to say some thank yous and welcomes. So, welcome to Linda and Rob. Thank you for playing a massive part in making Sam the person that she is, so welcome Linda and Rob. Welcome to Seb's mum and dad, Terry and Steve. Lovely to see you again. I don't know where you are. I can't see you. I'm here somewhere. Wave. Hello. Welcome to Sam's Grand Mary. I'm going to use the same line again. Please don't heckle me like you did in October 2020. No, I knew Bella would heckle me. Who actually accompanied me, Mary actually accompanied me on the first arduous journey through the high winds and knee-high snow to see Sam when she was born in Perth, in Scotland, on January 11th, 1987. Mary, I've said it before, I've said it then, and I'm saying it again tonight. We were the original SAS. But more about the SAS later. I don't know how I'm going to work my cue here when I do this, but we'll make it work. Right, it's great to have Ollie and Claire here today because they couldn't actually make the first wedding. They were locked down in Wales, so welcome Ollie and Claire. They didn't waste all their time though in lockdown. We now have a gorgeous baby Belle there just to prove that lockdowns work. She's accompanied us at this event, that's great. Please don't heckle me, Belle, with row, row, row your boat gently across the sea. Lastly, I'd like to welcome back the best man, Dave, and his better half, Jill. By the way, if Dave's version 2 speech is anything like, at all like our ultra-competitive family lockdown quizzes, which Dave and Jill were quite often part of, then Seb again will obviously get off scot-free, although he can't now because Seb, Sam's Scottish, I don't know if you know that bit. Cheers. And they will end up as winners, because they always did in our quizzes.
No, we were always the winners.
Yeah, you too. That's what I said, yeah. Sadly, Ollie and Claire will still be left looking shocked and bemused at the foot of the leaderboard, even though they knew what was coming after seeing this wedding video the first time.
Cheaters.
They cheated, there you go. Lastly, also, hello to my other half, Teresa, who's probably best described as half friend, half confident, and half stepmom to Sam, sometimes the wicked stepmom. Now, to all the really important people. Firstly, huge welcome to Steph, who I think we'd all agree looked gorgeous as chief bridesmaid. Steph's been a brilliant sister to Sam for many years, and due to the exceptional circumstances of 2020, she also still holds a record for the quietest hen party ever that took place with just the two of them in their PJs. So welcome, Steph. And then there's Seb. I'd like to wish Seb another official welcome to the family. So welcome, Seb. Thank you for making my daughter truly happy. Obviously, by doing all the cooking, all the shopping, and helping Sam spend all your money. And last, but by no means least, baby girl Sam. And I hope you all agree she's absolutely stunning today. This is when I choked the last time. So Sam, it's been an absolute joy to watch you develop from our gorgeous baby girl into the very beautiful, clever and compassionate and extremely loving young lady, wife and stepmom that you've become. It was my honour and privilege to walk you down the aisle again today. But beauty's only one of your many attributes. You're also fiercely loyal, totally dependable, tenacious, fun-loving, friendly, successful. You're also very competitive, sometimes, quite a lot actually, a bit bossy. And all you have to do is probably ask the staff here at Thornton Hall and the ones that are still on written warnings from Inglewood Manor. Sam's a perfect young lady. I'm proud to have her as my daughter, and I know Seb is really proud to call her his wife. Right, this is a bit where I'll try and do a clip. Although his deep affection for Dave is kind of coming through, and I kind of got a bit confused, so I had to check something. Now, I don't know if this will work.
Hello, Dave. Sorry, is that Dave? Oh, no, I think you've got the wrong house. Okay, is Dave there? No, there's no one called Dave here. Okay.
That was a true recording, as is this one.
You're my wife now.
So, keep an eye on Dave and his speech. At this point, it's traditional to extol the virtues and the intelligence of the groom, and I do have copious notes, but I'm sorry, Seb, I still can't read your writing. They've got to laugh that last time. Seriously though, I'll never forget the day 3 years ago, roughly, that he came round, and then we got a WhatsApp message. Seb said he needed to speak to me. What could be wrong? As Sam somehow made her way to the kitchen to turn the oven on? Had she eaten some broccoli? Or maybe a rogue mushroom? But no, he invited himself to our house. When he arrived, I thought, it's a bit odd. No Sam, never mentioned that. But we chatted away nicely, trying to avoid any conversation around Liverpool Football Club, and I'm still trying to do that, and it's still not working for me. But time ticked by, and after about 3 extra helpings of homemade meatballs and another half bottle of red, his nerves settled and it became clear he asked for my permission to marry Sam. I thought, wow, who said the age of chivalry is dead? So that was really nice, I thought. Yes, obviously, but part of me still regrets not giving him a bit of a hard time. I was hoping he could have popped round last week, because I could have practiced and done it again, but he never showed up. So, all is not lost though, because I know Dave will once again pick up that mantle and absolutely rip him shortly. So, no pressure, Dave. Thanks, Teresa. Now, we've got to know Seb, and it's clear that he's a credit to his parents, an absolutely fantastic dad to Oscar, and I can't generally think of a better person to have as a son-in-law. But back to the SAS, so remember them earlier? The real SAS, as they like to call themselves. So the motto for the SAS is who dares wins. But what does that motto mean? I googled it. It means that if one has the courage and audacity to take risks, that person will succeed in life. It can also be interpreted as courage itself is its own reward. Now, we all know that just to get this to this point over both weddings, it's took an absolute mission to get here, to be fair. And these two amazing young people have managed it. They've got there, and we're celebrating their wedding again. So the motto is pretty apt, and the mission is accomplished, I would say. So well done, SAS. Can we give them a round of applause for that? How many times has this one changed? 5 times this one's changed, and we're still here, so that's good. So SAS also got me thinking, what else could it mean if it was applying to Sam and Seb? What about UK storm names? Nope, not applicable, because S, I looked it up today, S is Sean, so that's no good. If you're wondering, Gladys is the next one, so if there's anybody called Gladys in the audience, you're the next name of the next storm. Probably tomorrow. Last page, be pleased now. So, SAS, special and sincere, safe and secure, snazzy and soulful. There were others I considered, such as sarcastic and Scottish. Nope, that only applies to Sam. And surprised and short. That only applies to Seb. So I thought I'd best leave those out. Anyway, you'll be glad to know I've finished. So I'm just the official warm-up act for Dave, so I'll finish off with a piece of wisdom. A great philosopher once said, "A man who gives in when he is wrong is a very wise man, but the man who gives in when he's right is married." It is my great pleasure to propose the first toast to the happy couple, Sam and Seb. Here's to a long and wonderful, happy life together. I haven't even got a drink. So, ladies and gentlemen, could I please ask you to be upstanding, raise your glasses and propose a toast to Sam and Seb. Thank you. I think I'll hand over to the groom.
Do I need to press anything? Or?
No, just do it.
Yeah. Absolutely no pressure. Is that on? Do we need to press the button or? Hello? I'm dreading this. I know, yeah, everybody, yeah. Okay. First of all, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Stuart. I was even better than the first time. I always love hearing the story about the meatballs. It never fails to get me right there. It was such a fun evening. Obviously, understanding why I was there. Also, another thing, maybe another story you didn't mention about kind of after the meatballs, getting to the train station and trying to surprise Sam, making sure she didn't know I was at your house. So it was a good one, but we did surprise you in the end, didn't we? Yes. Especially when I proposed, which you weren't expecting. I think it was something like this, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so right, I'm going to keep this really brief as I'm a bit nervous about what Dave, the best man, is going to say. Genuinely. It was nerve-wracking enough the first time. With just 13 of us, but now there's close to 100, so we'll see how that one goes. So, to begin, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to Sam's family, especially Linda, Stuart, Rob and Teresa. You all made everything really easy. Getting to know you, asking for Sam's hand, and she certainly wouldn't be who she is today without you all. So thank you for welcoming me into the family, as warmly as you all have. My mum and dad who are here today, I think they're somewhere at the back, not listening. For pushing me to work hard at school, helping me through the good times and the bad. Steph, Sam's maid of honour, you've been a huge support for Sam ever since you met. A big sister, a best friend and more. And you look absolutely beautiful today. So, round of applause. Okay, so my best man Dave, where to begin? Okay, so always there for me when I need you most, ultimately. You know, whether that's going for a beer, recommending what book to read next, or giving me advice on a whole host of different things. You've never steered me wrong. Apart from, maybe, that time in the pub with Brendan. But I'll let you tell that story. Okay. So, it's not an understatement, though, that you genuinely have changed my life. You know, you helped shape who I am today, and I'll never forget it. I'm forever grateful. So, I love you, man. Oscar? Yep, talking to you. I honestly didn't know where to begin. You're probably the best behaved and brightest 10-year-old I've ever met. I've never known anybody as good at maths and mental arithmetic as you, and who eventually, and who equally doesn't like getting anything wrong, apart from Sam and I. I honestly couldn't have asked for a kinder, hard-working and fun kid. I absolutely love you, buddy. And it's also worth saying that if anybody needs to know anything at all about Pokemon or Lego Ninjago, this is your man, right here. You've got a massive future ahead of you, buddy. I love you, and you mean the world to me. So finally, Sam, my wife, loyal, kind, generous, smashing sense of humour. But that's enough about me. We're here about you. No, I'm just joking. You look absolutely stunning today, and all those terms apply to you. You know, you look just as great as you did the first time, as you know, if not even better. And I couldn't be happier that we had the good fortune to meet when we could. Now, as many of you know, Sam and I met online when we arranged our first date in London, where we both happened to be working at the time. It had absolutely everything. Controversy over me buying a round of drinks on my company credit card, although thankfully, after referring it to VAR, I was given the all clear from your friends. A very late night of drinking, boosted out of closing time, and an insight into a girl who, 2 months later, I'd be engaged to, and not that long after married to. Sam, you're a wonderful mother to Oscar, and in 6 months' time, we'll have a new addition to our family. It's been an amazing couple of years. So we've had an engagement, 2 weddings, a pandemic, a new house, new jobs, IVF, and a new baby to boot. Sam, as I often remind you, I thank my lucky stars we met when we did. It would have been so easy to miss each other. I don't know where I'd be without you today, and I just can't imagine anybody, well, ever meeting anybody so perfectly suited to me. In the words of Good Will Hunting, it doesn't matter if the guy is perfect or the girl is perfect, as long as they're perfect for each other, which we are. I love you, Sam. Finally, I'd just like to say a big thank you to you all today for turning up. It means the world to us that you could make it. I really hope you enjoyed the party. I really hope you've had a great day. I'm going to pass you over to my best man now, Dave, who might not be my best man after he's done. We'll see. So, thank you, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to be here as Seb's best man for the second time. The fact we are all here today in this room and they have not killed each other by working from home together over the last 18 months is nothing short of a miracle. The surroundings we're in are absolutely beautiful. Sam and Steph look absolutely amazing today. I'm sure you will all agree. I particularly enjoyed the Mr. and Mrs. Part of the ceremony. It was absolutely fascinating. I think you could probably all hear me laugh at the back of the room when the question was asked about who was the better driver between Sam and Seb. There was just no contest.
Can we clear that up that it's me?
It is you, definitely. I've only been in the car with you once, Sam. I want to start by saying what I said at the end of the last Best Man speech. I asked Sam and Seb to indulge me for a moment, and I asked Sam to put her hand out and asked Seb to put his hand on top. And I said to Seb, that will be the last time you ever have the upper hand in this relationship. So the question was asked, who's the boss in this relationship? And the room turned pink. I was not surprised. So I'm absolutely grateful to be here today to see so many people. Seb tried his level best to get the ceremony cancelled today, but unfortunately, he set fire to the Thornton Manor Hotel by mistake. As best man, it is my duty to say a few things about Seb. The first time I met Stuart, he put me on the spot and he said to me, tell me 3 nice words about Seb. And I'm thinking, he's getting married to his daughter. I've got to lie, haven't I? I can't be honest. So I said something like, he's honest, he's loyal, he's kind, you know. But joking aside, Seb has some amazing qualities. He runs around after Sam 24/7, patiently, and attends to her every need. He only ever grumbles about it when she's out of earshot. Seb is a proud and devoted dad to Oscar, who is growing up to be a fantastically amazing young man. And he looks absolutely great today, doesn't he? Yeah. Can we have a round of applause? Yeah. So when I met Seb, he used to go around, he'd have like about 3 mobile phones. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Is he dealing drugs or something? Well, Seb says to me, no, this is all about his devotion to Oscar. And he says, it's all about catching Pokemon cards. So that was the cover story. So one day, Seb's there, he's on his phone, and he's in a WhatsApp group, and it's called Newton Park Raiders. So I said to Seb, what the hell is this about, the Newton Park Raiders? And he gives me the Pokemon story. Now, you can imagine my surprise, and I'm not buying into that. So I spoke to him a little bit about it, and he maintains it's all about Pokemon. So I said to him, let me get this straight. You meet up in the park with strangers for outdoor fun. Stuart also said to me, jokingly, he said, "Tell me 3 bad words about Seb." And I've never been in such a dilemma in my whole life. So I decided on saying crap at poker. Because poker is how Seb and I met in the local pub playing poker games. And what I will say is we had the magician earlier. He was absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure everybody saw him, but he had some amazing tricks going on. Seb has an amazing magic trick of his own, don't you, Seb? Don't look so worried. Seb can make a stack of poker chips disappear faster than anyone I know. On the subject of poker, our love of the game has taken us abroad on a couple of occasions. We went to Monte Carlo to celebrate Brendan's birthday. Philly joined us. It was a great trip. While we were there, Seb said to us, "I'm going to make you the most amazing meal of your life," because he loved himself as a chef. And he said, earlier, didn't he, at the ceremony, his superpower is his cooking. Brendan, I need to put you on the spot. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, no, completely.
No.
Not.
Seb promised us an unforgettable meal, and it was so bad I will never forget it for the rest of my life. Brendan was ill in bed for 3 days afterwards. We also had a little trip to Malta to play in an international poker tournament called the Battle of Malta. So we get there, we're in this tournament, we're in the lunch break, and Seb comes up to me, and he looks really, really upset and sad. I'm like, "What's up, mate?" He goes, "I'm so fed up, mate." He said, "Liverpool and Man United are playing this afternoon. I've just tried to knock myself out of the tournament, and I got lucky, and now I've got to stay in and miss the game." He's the only person I know who would travel 1,500 miles to get himself knocked out of a poker game. Malta was an amazing country, amazing experience, and we did have plans to go back. And then COVID hit. It was a pain in the backside. The worst part about COVID for me was that second big lockdown when we couldn't go to the pub and enjoy ourselves as friends between January and April 2021. So then Boris obviously announces you can all go to the pub beginning of April. So we're on it like a cob on it. I'm rounding the boys up and saying, "Get the afternoon booked off work, we're going down the pub, lads." And so we did. Now, not having a session for about 3 months or so is not without its dangers, is it? Now, I'm not saying that Seb is a lightweight, but before the last wedding, I reached out to Mike's friend who lives in the States. He couldn't make it there. And I asked him to just tell me something about Seb. And he said to me, "I've known Seb for the past 25 years, from when we had an instant dislike of each other, that luckily turned into a great friendship through a love of the same music and video games. I still remember him getting drunk off 2 beers at the age of 14 in France. Not a lot's changed, to be honest. He's still a lightweight." So back to the White Lion. We're all there, drinking all afternoon, not having much to eat. It's getting a bit lively, so to speak, isn't it, Seb?
It is, yeah.
You remember this, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. You're worried about this?
I don't know where it's going.
Yeah. So we're at the front of the pub, because we don't have a drink outside. And the queue is like down the street. There's people queuing up to get into the pub. It was absolutely fantastic. We're all drunk, telling jokes. And then Brendan says to Seb, "Oh, there's a few people in the queue over there, friends of mine, I know them." So as they get closer to the door where we're all sitting, Seb starts getting a bit lively and he starts making some jokes about kinky sex, purely to embarrass Brendan. And they get right up to us, and Seb's going on and he's going on about it, and he's going, "Don't knock it till you've tried it." And Brendan's just like putting his hood up, trying to avoid everybody. I do have to admire Seb for being such a forgiving person. And whether he'll forgive me tomorrow is a different question. Over the years, I've subjected Seb to so many practical jokes and wind-ups, but here I am. I have no idea why. One of my favourite memories is we were in the White Lion one Saturday afternoon, me, Seb and Brendan having a drink. It's my round. The White Lion is a dog-friendly pub. I go to the bar, get the drinks in, come back to the table, and I just open a few like bar snacks and just open them and put them on the table. Brendan's just tucking in, he's on like his third, fourth snack. So Seb tucks in, and he says to me, he goes, "Dave, are you sure these aren't dog biscuits?" I could not contain my laughter. Anyway, moving very, very swiftly on to Seb's love for Sam. We were in the White Lion one Saturday afternoon. It's all about the White Lion. Not an alcoholic, by the way. I'm not sure about Seb, but... So we're in the White Lion. Seb's telling me about this amazing, perfect lady he's met. And he's going on, and I said to him, Seb, come on, there's no such thing as the perfect woman. He says, there's got to be something wrong with her. Then came the bombshell. Sam and her family are Man United fans.
Is that loud enough, Dave?
Now, despite the horror show that was 2020, Seb will tell you that was actually the greatest year of his life. Liverpool won the Premier League, followed closely by his marriage to Sam. Right, celebrating their vows again today in front of friends and family has been so important to them because they couldn't do it the first time around. So I want to thank every one of you for being here today. I think Sam deserves special recognition for the effort that she's dedicated to making today happen. 2022 is going to be a special year for Sam and Seb and Oscar. Beautiful new home, baby on the way. They've got an exciting future ahead. But I just want to warn you, Sam, do not get your expectations too high in regards to babysitting from me. For his part, Seb has also been looking forward to this day for months and months and months. He's been making sure that Oscar brought into the excitement. The last couple of weeks, he's spoken of absolutely nothing else. Ladies and gentlemen, arguably the very best computer game ever made was released this morning. It may or may not be true that we have a PS5 on the hotel grounds, and we're just waiting for Sam to go to bed so we can play on it. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to get the party started. So if you'll all be upstanding and join me in a toast to the bride and groom. Bride and groom.